or green, not all mixed up. It's indications that some of the wind is going toward the radar, some of it's going away from the radar, and that's shear, and that is why the Weather Service has issued this tornado warning. Now, this is radar indicated at the moment. Radar indicated, so we don't have the confirmation of any tornado on the ground, but this is for the rural section of northeastern Mason County, and it goes until 5:45. It's got the possibility of hail 2 inches in diameter. Mobile homes, well, you're going to be destroyed in a mobile home if a tornado comes out of this area. There's very little doubt about that. This is a powerful system, and we've been under the enhanced risk for strong and severe weather. Don't pay attention to the front here. That's more like a dry line. I'm going to take it off the map. But the situation is where we have energy coming in from the west, and obvious we have a dry line. And the blue you're seeing out in Mason and San Saba, I've added hail onto that. And I can let you know that the hail is indicated perhaps as large as 2 inches right now, plus the possibility of a tornadic storm. All those areas reporting that. Lowest level of your home and away from windows is where we need you. The severe weather threat is ongoing until roughly sunrise tomorrow, and enhanced risk, meaning there's a chance that you're going to get not only the hail, not only the heavy rain, but a low threat of tornadoes. And we do not have a confirmation of a tornado, but we have an indication that the storm may be producing a tornado. High winds, moderate risk, low risk of a tornado, but that's why we're on the air. Moderate risk of large hail and a low risk of flooding. All right, if we can show you the difference between a watch and a warning, because we're in the more serious situation now. Conditions are favorable in the watch, and we have a severe thunderstorm watch for Austin and surrounding areas. Just means watch out and have a plan ready to go. Warning, the event is occurring. I'm telling you now that we have an occurring, imminent, or likely tornado in Mason County. And now is the time to take the action you need to save your life, the life of friends or family, and your property. Fox 7 WAP, grab it, App Store or on Google Play, or you can use a NOAA weather radio. It's got the actual warnings coming out as I am getting them to you. The bug is what I want gone, please. As many walls as between you and the storm possible is what we need. So an interior closet, perhaps an interior bathroom, perhaps just a room without windows. A tree or a 2x4 going through a window is what we're most concerned about in a tornado, even if you're in a safe spot. So you cover yourself up with a blanket, you cover yourself up with a bike helmet for the kids, bike helmet for yourself, and you wait for this storm to pass by. It's not going to last all night. We're not looking at a tornado outbreak here, but we are looking at the possibility of a tornado. Here's the skyline of Austin, and we've got some dark clouds overhead, but no indication of severe weather, tornadic there. Let's get back to the warning page, and I will show you exactly what we're talking about. It is this portion of Mason County, the northeast section of Mason County. And the radar is indicating that storm is a violent storm with large hail and a radar signature. A signature is what the folks at the National Weather Service are looking at, and they say, well, we've got some sort of rotation there. We've got some spin in the atmosphere. It looks like this may be dropping a tornado. So northeastern Mason County, south of Fredonia, we just want you safe. We want you in the interior portion of your home, away from the windows, and we want you covered up with a blanket, covered up with maybe a comforter, covered up with a bike helmet. I know it sounds silly, and you may think it's silly at this point, but debris coming through a window, debris coming through the side of your home is going to be moving at 100 miles per hour. And should that hit you in the head, there are going to be some pretty serious consequences. Tornado warning means it's occurring, or the radar is indicating it may occur very soon. There's also a nasty storm in San Saba. This is really the same storm, and you can see San Saba proper here in the top right of your screen. This is a rural area of the county, but we are anticipating some very large hail coming out of that storm, quarter size, which triggered the initial warning, and nickel sized down to the south. As for lightning, well, we only have 2 storms out there, and they're cranking out a lot of it. Indoors, away from windows, either spot. Storm reports are likely to be coming in for the hail, and the enhanced risk is where we are. We've been there pretty much all day long. Category 3 out of 5, with a list you don't want to be on. Category 1, let alone 2 or 3 or higher. Doesn't mean you're going to get a severe thunderstorm, doesn't mean you're going to get a tornado, but as you can see, even though we only have 2 out there at the moment, both of them are cranking out some large hail, and the one out to the west is the one the radar is indicating may have 2-inch hail and a tornado. The storm is near Fredonia. It's moving east at 25 miles per hour, so it's a fast mover, and I would be in the interior portion of my home for sure at this point. Let's get you caught up again on our warnings. The warning is the more severe category that we have, and much of Mason County in the severe thunderstorm mode. That's the orange on the map. In the red is our tornado warning, and this swallows up a good section of the county, maybe a fifth or a sixth of the county in the northeast side, and it's butting up against Llano. If I'm in northern Llano County, I'm getting ready. This thing is moving eastbound at 25 plus miles per hour. This could be a storm that's affecting you. As for the other counties, well, it's a severe thunderstorm watch, and it's going to go almost to midnight. Goes till 11 o'clock tonight, so we're buckled in here at the station, and we hope you are safe and in a spot that's going to keep you safe for the next hour or so, at least in Mason County. There is some new development behind it, too, so we're watching that. The dry line is punching east. Very, very dry air moving into warm, moist air, and that's what's kicking off this possibility of a tornado. And this is in the red there. That's the tornado zone that the National Weather Service is most concerned about. Hail is in upwards of 2 inches in diameter for Mason County, and this is now likely to be moving into near San Saba County, the western section of San Saba County. The arrow here, this is the area we're most concerned about, right here, just south of 71. I'm going to zoom it on in about as far as we can get. There's Pontotoc, and there's Fredonia, right up Highway 71. And this is a storm that certainly is indicating some large hail. I've got marble-sized hail in multiple spots, penny-sized to the north and pea-sized as you get away from the center of the storm. Here's velocity mode, and this is the key here. And when it comes to these things, you don't want to see the reds and the greens sort of mixing it up. Little rotation here, little rotation here, perhaps some stronger rotation in this area, and this may be what the Weather Service triggered the storm, or what they saw, and they hit the button on the storm, because they don't take this lightly. They sort of watch it, and they watch it go, and they wait for something to trigger. And in this case, it's the couplet, the little coupling of the red and the green. This hail is going to damage your roof. It's going to damage your siding. It's going to damage your windows. Your vehicles are going to get pocked. If you can safely put them in a garage, do it. Wind damage to siding and trees, a good bet. 50, 60 mile per hour winds with this storm. And this is the one we're talking about in Mason and eventually into San Saba counties. Both of those counties are under not only severe thunderstorm warnings, but the tornado warning, which is why I am here. This is, of course, Scott Fisher with you from the Fox 7 Weather Center. The one in Mason County is going to go until 5:45. The one for parts of Travis, Williamson, and just extreme northern Bastrop County goes until 6 o'clock. We stay on the air during these tornado warnings just in case somebody was watching and they want to continue the coverage, or maybe they're flipping around channels and they don't realize that the storm approaching them is as strong or severe as indicated. In this case, it's every bit of that. Here's Max Storm radar. I'm going to loop this for you. And it's fast moving, 25 miles per hour off to the east. So you don't want to let your guard down, but the storm that actually triggered the warning is out of that area. It's now moving farther along 71. And next up, this would be Llano County here as the storm continues. We are watching for hail. I'm going to do a quick stop here and say nickel-sized hail, penny-sized hail, nickel-sized hail. So this would be sub-severe hail, but it's not the hail that we're on the air for throughout the newscast here. It's the velocity and the indication of green moving toward our radar spot, and this would be down in New Braunfels. The red's moving away. So if you think of this as a bunch of wind. Come back on camera for me here, please. Thanks. So you have wind going one way, you have wind going the opposite way. And if you were to rub a pencil or a pen in your hand, what happens is one going one way, one going the other way, you're getting that spinning motion. And that spinning motion is what's happening in the atmosphere, essentially. And the spin goes up higher and eventually becomes a funnel cloud or a tornado, and that's what's going to hit the ground. We've got that shear. That's what we call wind moving in opposite directions, shear. Back to the weather graphics. I want to show you the velocity, keep it up here. We're sort of hoping we get a bunch of red here or a bunch of green at one point. That would mean less shear, mean either things are going toward the radar or they're going away from the radar. Nevertheless, what's a conventional view, amazing, we only have 2 storms at the moment throughout the entire central portion of the state, and both are on the nasty side. This one's weakening. Pflugerville, you got some heavy rain. Manor, it's coming your way. If you're heading out, let's say, out to home after a day's work and you're driving along 290, there's going to be a lot of rain there. Out in the hill country, let's see if we can get out there even quicker. Yeah, this storm's definitely going to make it into Llano County. I don't have a warning at the moment, I don't believe, for Llano County. And the storm is actually moving out of Mason County, I would say before 5:45 with its characteristics. Now, there's a chance they slide the tornado warning into Llano County or into San Saba County, but at the moment, it's not indicated. The latest from the Weather Service says the storm has approximate ping-pong ball-sized hail. Flying debris, if you're caught without shelter, is problematic. If you're listening to me, I'm assuming you're in a home. If you're in a mobile home and there's a way to get to a sturdier structure, at least for 20 or 30 minutes, good time to do it. Mobile homes could be destroyed by 60 and 70 mile per hour straight line winds, and certainly 100 plus mile an hour tornado winds. Trees are going to go down. You don't want to be under them. There could be damage to a tree and it falls on you or your family. It's mainly rural areas here in Mason County, but I know there are a lot of barns out that way. I know there are some structures, some smaller structures, and if you're caught in that and not in the homestead, that's where we are most worried. The tornadic thunderstorm will continue roughly another 15 minutes, I would estimate, in Mason County, and we'll see if it weakens. If you've got an interior room to get to, lowest level of the home, closet, perhaps a bathroom, perhaps a small, even my HVAC is in a small little closet area, and I keep the dog food in there. I move the dog food out and I stay in there, and that's the most interior portion of my home. Sounds silly, but you put a blanket on and you throw on perhaps a bike helmet. Doesn't sound like much. 100 mile per hour 2x4, a bike helmet is not going to hurt you. It can only help you if that were to be the case. In my little safe space at home, I got a 4-year-old. I keep a video game. I keep an iPad in there with charged up, and I keep a little snack or two. You want to keep the kids calm and keep them safe. There's nothing wrong with playing a game and relaxing and talking it through, eating some chips or drinking a juice box, not a big deal. I keep a little stash of it in that room. Now might not be the time to grab it, but for future notice, obviously we're in severe weather season, wouldn't be a bad thing to do. Okay, I want to give you the TBA, I call it, on this part of the storm. So notice the red here goes till 5:45. My thought is they may expire that a little early. The warning, the orange, that goes until 5:30, which is roughly 8 or 9 minutes away. The one in Travis County has been relocated. They've taken the western section of the county out. It's now just North Austin, and that's going to go until 6 o'clock. As for the watch, all the counties in yellow, we're watching out for severe thunderstorms. There's likely to be a bunch more tonight. There's likely to be a bunch more as we get into the early part of the day on your Wednesday. This is not a surprise. It's not something that snuck up on us. We've got a dry line out there, and I want to see if I can grab this humidity graphic because it's pretty telling. Yeah, I've got it right here. So I'm going to show you the humidity across the entire state and look at the drastic difference in relative humidity between, say, Austin and Del Rio. 90% here, 9% in Del Rio. So that's the driest of the dry. But you can see how San Antonio now is in the drier section, part of our hill country in that drier section, and we are in the warm and moist area. There's also going to be a weak cold front that comes through. So we've got several triggers here that may bring severe weather for us. Several different triggers. Let me clear this. Okay, so Llano's got the severe thunderstorm warning now up to the north till 6:15. That's this one. 5:30 here, 5:45 here, 6 o'clock here. The one we are most focused on is right there in rural Mason County. Still a tornado warning, still up for another 22 minutes officially. If you're in this storm, which is most likely 1% of the folks listening, I know it's extremely rural out there, but there are a lot of ranchers, a lot of farmers in that northern section of the county want to keep you safe, and some of these other thunderstorms could be dropping a tornado at any point with this enhanced risk. Get to your safe place. You should know where your safe place is. Interior room, away from the windows, closet, bathroom. Hunker down with a blanket overhead, hunker down with a helmet, and ride this storm out. It's not likely a large tornado, but it's, we're talking 70, 80, 90 mile per hour winds. You got some debris, you've got some construction materials outside. That's not real good. Let me get you the radar, and I'm fortunate to say this one here in the Manor area does not look nearly as severe. It's the one in the far western hill country, which is almost out of Mason County now, that has the warning on it. I'm monitoring the Weather Service to see if they change this or reconfigure it. In the meantime, expect hail damage to roofs, expect hail damage to siding, expect hail damage to windows as well as vehicles. Trees may be knocked over from 40 to 80 mile per hour winds, assuming non-tornadic activity. If the tornado does come up, that's going to be something that we deal with, obviously, with ground problems. There is some action back out north of Mason. That at the moment is not severe. Come back on camera for me here. Let me sum this up. We've got a small section of Mason County under a tornado warning until 5:45. We've got parts of Mason County, parts of Llano County, parts of Travis County, parts of Williamson County, and parts of San Saba County, all under a severe thunderstorm warning. And the warning is the higher category. The watch means look out. Conditions are favorable. We had that early this morning. The warning itself means we've got something going on, and we're here to keep you safe. We're here to keep you in your safe place. We're here to keep you updated with the radar and the velocity and the actual expirations of these warnings. Back to the weather computer. I'll keep it up on the storm radar, max storm radar, as we watch the storm exiting Mason County and moving now into Llano County. My indication on my end is this storm has some weak rotation with it and does not, in my estimation at this point, look tornadic. However, the Weather Service are the ones that sort of make this go, and that may be something that they continue. They are talking about possible radar-indicated tornadoes with this, and I've added the scale on top. Green means toward the radar, red means away from our radar. Recap. This is an ugly recap. Let me clear it out for you a bit. Okay. So, San Saba, Mason, Llano, Travis, Williamson, and small amount of Bastrop counties are the ones we are concerned about. We have one tornado warning. It's the one here in Mason. The indications are this storm is nearly out, if not out, entirely of Mason County. So our policy is to stay with it until they officially expire it. But as you can see here, there's Mason County, and in the area that had been warned, there is no storm. So I'm going to keep with it. We're going to monitor this storm that is now in San Saba County, and we're monitoring the storm in Llano County. This is well to the west of Highway 16, but approaching where you are. Hail, quarter-sized, and there's quarter-sized as well. So both counties, San Saba and Llano, have what we call severe-sized hail. Once you get to quarter is where the damage starts to begin. Nickel-sized hail, little dents here and there to certain objects, but quarter-sized hail can do damage to cars and do damage to roofs. I want you just away from these storms. I'm going to keep the connection up with us here until something changes on the severe side, but 17, 18 more minutes of what is a severe storm that could be bringing a tornado. Let's go over the whole thing again for you so you're caught up if and when they expire this. Warnings like this, the one most problematic is the red in Mason County. All of the counties here under a severe thunderstorm warning. And I'm going to go back to Mason. Yeah, that goes in still until 5:45. Dry line, super dry air, moving into very warm, moist, sticky, unstable air, acting like a plow or a cold front, lifting it up. And the more you lift it and the more you spin it, the better chance you get of a tornado. At the moment, we've got a storm in northeastern Travis County. We've got one on the Hayes and Blanco County line, and we've got the one coming out of Mason County that is moving through San Saba and Llano counties, which at the moment do not look tornadic, but those are the ones that we still have, and these are still producing some large hail. This one here in northern Llano looks like golf ball size hail. That's going to do some damage. Velocity mode improvements, a lot more green separated by red. Red on one side of the storm, green on the other side. We like that. The winds here are going away. The winds here are coming toward. We don't see the mixing. There are a few little spots of minor couplets or minor rotation perhaps, but it does not look on the violent side at the current time. And there's your lightning, and there's plenty of that, and obviously indoors and away from the windows. If you've got the Fox 7 WAP and you're doing the Little League practice or the soccer game at this point, and you've got the lightning detector, this is some serious stuff. Get the kids out of there, get into the car, get into some safe spot. Storm Prediction Center had this thing nailed very early yesterday when they enhanced us to the Category 3. And that just means if you see a thunderstorm, and that's a big if, but if you do see a thunderstorm, there's a rather good chance that it's going to be dropping some large hail. Our risk of any large tornadoes, or any tornadoes for that matter, is low. But the hail risk is moderate, and the high wind risk is moderate. The flooding risk widespread is low, but creeks and low water crossings could easily get covered up briefly. Favorable when the watch is up. Have a plan. Think watch out. Warning, which we're under now for tornadoes. Event is occurring. It's going on. It's imminent or likely. The radar is telling us that it's imminent, that the storm could be bringing a tornado. We don't have reports of a tornado on the ground. We do not have reports of any damage from a tornado. We do not have any sightings of a tornado at the moment. But the warning is still out there, and it's sliding into Llano County. Best safety precautions at the moment, Fox 7 WAP. It's an app. Everybody's got a phone. Everybody's got one of those smartphones. You download it. It's free. It'll keep you updated where you are, of where the warning is and where it may be going and where the storm is, as well as looking at the radar yourself and centering it where you want it. Center it on your family. Center it on the kids, wherever you might be. Lowest level of your home, we've talked about that. Don't be on the second or third floor. If you're in an apartment complex, get down. Make some friends with the folks on the first level. There are many walls between you and the storm, so if it's coming in from the west, you want to be on the east side, and you just want to be away from the exterior walls. Maybe a bedroom, small, maybe a closet, maybe a bathroom. Cover yourself up with a blanket. It's super easy. I keep the comforter in the room. I just knock it over my head. I put the bike helmet on the kid, and we sit there and eat gummies and eat fruit snacks and just play video games until this thing is gone. You want to keep the kids happy, and you want to keep them safe and not nervous in a situation like this. And we talked about the mobile home. The damage is more apparent in a mobile home. Fox 7 Skyline camera, we are looking east here, and there's not much to see east, just a lot of clouds. But the storm is moving rather quickly, 25 miles per hour. Now, I do have the new scope tool that just popped on for this storm here in Travis County, and I might as well show you what we've got. This is a lot of information here, a lot of information, but looks like it'll be in Elgin if it holds together in less than an hour, moving east at 17. Don't pay attention to the precipitation rate. That's not a good calculation, but a heavy rain for sure, and the maximum hail size is indicated at 1.8 inches. So that would be well over the quarter size, which is what we give the threshold for. And we've had some super heavy rain. We've had some real heavy rain across parts of Burnett and Llano County. Doppler estimating 3 to 4 inches out that way. Let's get back to the warning map. We'll see if we're still active, and we are. I can't explain why it's still there. It apparently is not a tornado in Llano County or a tornado-warned storm, but my best guess, without throwing shade on anybody or talking problematically about anything, is the folks at the National Weather Service are probably pretty darn busy issuing these other warnings. And they may have just not thrown the computer graphic out that our computer picks up. Now, we are seeing a pretty good storm in Mason, not severe, but this could be the next one that goes severe. It could be the one that brings some large hail here shortly. Indication now, let's see. I've got my hail scope, and I've got no hail out of that storm. Let me show you the storm a little farther up to the north. This is the one skirting Llano and San Saba counties, and I bet I have some big hail. I got hail 1 inch there, and I've got 1.3 inch size up that way. That's San Saba. The county line is right here. So Llano County, San Saba County, and nickel-sized hail just farther down to the south. All right, let me come back on camera if I can, and I'll explain what we're doing here. We're monitoring severe weather. We're monitoring what was a radar-indicated tornado issued by the National Weather Service. That one came out of the San Angelo area. That county, Mason County, is governed by the folks in San Angelo. What they saw on the radar was winds changing with height. What they saw is a swirl in the atmosphere with what was already a severe hail-producing thunderstorm. Usually when you see that and you couple it with the information you have from the ground and from spotters, there may have been a spotting of a funnel or there may have been an indication that a funnel was developing, which is why they go ahead and issue these warnings. The higher category, they're saying it's coming, it's possibly coming very shortly, it's imminent, and we want you to take cover in that situation. Let's get back to the weather graphics and see what we've got. And yeah, it's still out there at the moment. So we're just gonna. I'm gonna follow my boss here. My boss says while we have the warning, we stay on the air. And while it might not be that area, the rest of the region is still looking at what may be a rough couple of hours with some severe thunderstorms. We certainly have those. If you're in northeastern Travis County, if you're north of Manor, you're getting it. Elgin, you're probably going to miss the bulk of this, but you're going to get some pretty hefty rains here shortly. And Manda, there it is in north and east of Manor. Going to be a big thunderstorm there, but at the moment, it is not tornadic. The storm is totally out of Mason County that we were worried about, but we are going to stay with it. We're in news time now, so might as well. This is probably the biggest story I have for you for the day, and perhaps the biggest story going on regionally, because we're going to be under the risk of these type of supercell thunderstorms at least until 10 or 11 o'clock tonight. Dry line is what's kicking these off, and it's very evident where we've got the dry air compared to the moist air. 90% humidity, 50% humidity, 9% relative humidity moving back from Austin to San Antonio to Del Rio. Northern Llano County, southern San Saba County, Mason proper. This is a strong storm again. It's getting big. It's not tornadic, but we are watching it mighty closely. It does look like there are going to be hail reports coming out of this. And once we break for this tornado warning to expire, which I am expecting here, if not within 7 minutes, then before 7 minutes, I will go back and build some graphics to show you what areas have reported some large hail and give you an indication of how large that hail may have been. Notice the new development now in Blanco County. Not severe at this point, but you're seeing the blow-offs in Lakeway, Lago Vista. I'd prepare for some heavy rain. We already have the heavy rain here north and east of Austin, Manor, Elgin, Bastrop County. You're getting ready for it. And our storm that did prompt the tornado warning now out of Mason County into Llano and San Saba counties. I have a new graphic here I can put up. Let me take the radar off. Okay, so what you're looking at here is estimated hail and tracking it through Mason into Llano and into San Saba counties. This is the hail indications as we go over the last hour or so. So this is moving extremely quickly and extremely large on some spots, as large as perhaps 2 inches in diameter. New warning is up. You can just tell me. Ryan's here in the studio. What's that?
You can wrap if you think the storm's done.
Okay. I've got the permission that even though this tornado warning is technically in effect, the storm is out of that area. So at 5:39, we are going to break from the wall-to-wall, what we call it, wall-to-wall coverage. We're going to send you back to our newscast. And if another tornado warning develops, I'll be right back with you. In the meantime, I'm going to throw it back to Mike and Rebecca, and I'm going to build some bonus weather maps for you, and I'm going to get future radar racked up as we get from now until past midnight tonight. Rebecca, Mike.